In the last session, we have seen how to design the synchronous sequential circuit with flip-flops. So, in today's session, we will be seeing about the asynchronous sequential circuit. Okay, so far whatever we have seen is the synchronous sequential circuit. Now, what is the difference between the synchronous sequential circuit and the asynchronous sequential circuit? When I say it as a synchronous sequential circuit, so it works with respect to your clock pulses. That is, your input signals will change only based on your clock signals, whereas that is not the case in case of asynchronous sequential circuits, where the change in input signal, it affects the memory at any instant of time. Okay, it is not dependent upon the clock at all. Okay, here if you could see, the memory elements are always the clocked flip-flops. You will be using a clocked flip-flop. Only depending upon the activation of the clock pulses, your input changes will occur. Whereas here we are going to use the time delay elements or unclocked flip-flop as the memory element. We will be using the latches. Okay, the next thing, when you are going to incorporate the clock, okay, so it works in a very sequence or a proper order. In that case, whenever I am going to implement a clock, the system is going to become slow. Whereas here there is no proper rules or regulations, no clock is there, so it works faster. Okay, whenever you are going to compare to design your synchronous sequential circuit, so it is easier to design. But whenever you are going to come in for your asynchronous sequential circuit, it involves more complexity. Okay, just knowing the difference between these two, we will move on to what is the circuit configuration of your asynchronous sequential circuit, right? So now, generally you know how to design a sequential circuit. You will have a combinational circuit and you will have the memory element as a feedback. You will have certain inputs and certain outputs. Okay, and whatever the data which is coming as a feedback is going to be your next state, and whatever the data which is you are going to feed it to the next level, that is going to becoming your present state. That's what we have learned in your synchronous sequential circuit. Here generally we had a topic called as, we had an element called as memory element, but here what is the change we are going to incorporate? Here we are going to use a time delay circuit or a latch in case of the asynchronous sequential circuit. Here, instead of the next state, it is represented as excitation table. Y1, capital Y1, Y2 to Yk, whereas your present state has been renamed as your secondary variable Y1, Y2, Y3, because here it is not going to be dependent upon the clock at all. At any instant of time, the input will affect your memory elements. As a result, the data will change, where your memory elements are going to be the unclocked flip-flops or your delay elements. Okay, now what is the difficulty you will face? So in case of synchronous sequential circuit, everything will go in proper order. If I am giving the clock, then the transition from the one state to the other state will take place. But here it is not so. If this clock is not going to exist, then how to transfer the data from the present state to the next state? When the system will be stable? All these conditions peeps in, right? So here you are going to have the general sequential circuit configuration is going to be the same. Here you are going to have the inputs and whatever the states which is going to be, you are going to have a feedback loop here, and here there exists a condition that when your output can be passed on to the next stage. Okay, because the data are randomly changing, whereas in case of your sequential circuit, what happens? So you have a clock, based on that only the data transition occurs, so everything is in a proper sequence. Okay, here you have to provide some other mechanism by which you have to make your system as stable. Okay, for which only you are taking all your excitation variable. So since there is no clock, the data will be changing. You don't know what data at what time. Okay, so in order to make it come to a proper sequence, so you have to adjust the variable in such a way that when excitation variables are going to be equal to your secondary variables, then the system will become stable. So when you are going to make this as common, then in that case we can give the input so that it reaches the output. So what is the basic condition? Your Y1 to Yk should be equal to capital Y1 to Yk for the system to be stable. So this is the condition which we have to arrive in. Okay. Now we will move on. What are the types of asynchronous sequential circuit? Okay, so in this you have two types. One is called as a fundamental mode and another is called as a pulse mode. Okay, in both the modes only one input is allowed to change at a time. Okay, so either thing only one input is allowed to change. Either it is going to be a fundamental mode or a pulse mode. But here in case of fundamental mode, the whatever the pulses or whatever the input data you are going to send, they are considered as levels. Okay, here they are going to be considered as pulses. In both the cases only one data is going to change at a time. Here it is going to be considered as levels, whereas in pulses in pulse mode it is going to be considered as a pulses. Okay, so whenever I am going to consider the pulse mode, it should have a sufficient level width. Okay, now we will just see a waveform. You have a clocked waveform 1, 2, 3, 4. So don't think that here I've given a clock just for understanding. Okay, so whenever I'm going to give the signals at particular instant, what is going to happen? Now you are going to have two conditions. This is going to be a fundamental mode where it is represented as levels, and here it is going to be the pulses. Okay, now what happens in case of levels? Whenever I am going to give at some instant, you are going to have as levels. Okay, whereas whenever you are going to give for the pulses, see this is existing for certain levels. Okay, whereas here the pulses change at that particular duration. Okay, it is going to exist at it is going to exist as pulse and it is going to be for certain duration. Now we will move on. What are the basic concepts which is dealing with your asynchronous sequential circuits? So three concepts you should know. Okay, what are the concepts you have seen in synchronous sequential circuit? State table, state diagram, logic diagram. Similarly, here you have three concepts, that is transition table. So this transition table is nothing but it is a state table with binary assignments. So if I am going to give it with states like 0, 0, 0, 1, if I am going to assign it with some binary assignments, then it is called as a transition table. Then it is the flow table. So once the transition has been arrived with, then we will move on to the flow table where we are going to represent the states by symbols. Okay, A, B, C, D, like that. We'll for 0, 0 it is A, like that we will be assigning it. So that is called as a flow table. Once this flow table is done with, then we will go in for your primitive flow table. Okay, so this is nothing but the flow table with one stable state in each row. What is the condition? At last, when the data has to be transferred to the output, this small yk should be equal to yk for the system to be stable. So if I am going to take your K-map, in that at least one stable state, if it is going to be in each row, then it frames your primitive flow table. At that instant only the data from the input can transfer to the output. Okay, with this I conclude today's session. In the next session we will have how to analyze a fundamental mode asynchronous sequential circuit. Thank you.